Welcome in, everybody, and happy Wednesday. This is the Bluechip Breakdown, and we are your host. My name is Bull. This is Ruck. He's coming from straight up Tennessee. He has a great channel. Make sure that y'all go check him out. And, of course, Timmy G, JPatt, he's going to be joining us tonight in the chat, so you can see him right here. Appreciate you, as always, bro. Hope that you have a great trip and all that good stuff. So today, we're going to be talking about Tennessee, obviously, with this bye week. You know, we've had a good 5 games, but where is Tennessee at versus like the rest of the SEC, versus the rest of the country? What are we good at? What do we need to be working on? So on and so forth. Y'all, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And I want to start off. You know what? I think that a good place for us to start is actually going to be with the stats. Okay, let's talk about the stats, and then I want to plug in with y'all's thoughts. So this is Tennessee's offense versus Tennessee's defense. Y'all can see where we're ranked at. Of course, this is updated through 5 games. It's gonna, as far as the rankings, we'll probably change some, but y'all can see that the offense is doing some really nice things. The defense doing a couple of nice things. We're gonna dive deeper into this for sure. But I want to get from y'all just like really briefly, what's y'all's kind of like overall thoughts? Well, let's start off with what we're doing or what we need to do better at, right? Like, give me a couple of like sentences on what y'all think that we need to do better at. Starting off with you, Ruck.
Yeah, man. I think right now Tennessee, and you can see based off of what ESPN's efficiency ratings are, is like we're right in the middle of the pack. You know what I mean? Like, and that's because you take away a few chunk plays or you take away a few of these things, those numbers look a lot different, Bull. And so I think right now the my biggest concern, things that I believe Tennessee needs to get better at, the last 3 years, man, what are we doing in the 2-minute drill? It's like once we get into 2-minute drill, it's like Hendon Hooker had like a multiple really great drives, the Florida drive, the 99-yard 2-minute drive. Then he had, the Alabama 16-second drive, like what happened to our 2-minute drill? That was Heupel cooked that the first 2 years. And so it's like, I've leaned more on the side of like, man, we got to realize this is Heupel's 8th year coaching. He's still learning even what he likes to call in situational offense. And so I think that's one big key for me, the 2-minute drill. And then, man, I know it's a thing that people don't look at, but man, special teams has to be better, Bull. It's got to be better. We're dropping punts, we're missing field goals, and those things will lose you games. You're better than Mississippi State. Your dudes are better than their dudes, and that's why at the end of the day, we won the football game. But if that was Alabama on the road, that kind of play cost you, man. And so I think it's special teams and what's going on in that 2-minute offense right now for me.
Okay, and then also let me point this out. On top of everything there, you can see where ESPN, basically that's an average that I put together showing the like average defenses that our offense has faced and the average offense that our defense has faced. Did I say that the same way twice? Either way, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So just to show you like what the strength of schedule is for the offense and for our defense. But Tim, what are like a couple of things that you think Tennessee needs to be working on?
Same thing I've complained about all year. Set the edge. Like we don't set the edge. Look at and listen, the only complaint I've got is mainly on defense, and it's just what I talked about. Set the edge. I think if you look at Tennessee's stats and you look at yards gained against Tennessee, look where it's been. The majority of it has been outside of tackle, right? What teams are we getting ready to face moving forward? Right, teams with mobile quarterbacks. Yeah, you better be able to defend the run. Where do mobile quarterbacks normally eat?
Outside.
Tackle on the outside. Setting the edge from here forward is going to be crucial to winning some games. They're going to have to be able to set that edge because what's his name? Taylor Green, right?
Yeah,
good quarterback, right?
Yep.
He likes to run the ball. Alabama's quarterback likes to run the ball. We know if Mateer gets back for Oklahoma, guess what? He likes to run that ball. So you better have a good game plan. You better be able to set the edge and just tighten some things up. I'm happy with where we're at right now. I mean, I posted on one of your YouTube videos like we're getting healthy at the right time, right?
Okay.
So Jamad McCoy, we're hearing Jamad might be back for Arkansas. Like, what's that going to look like with Jamad and Colton? That's going to be, and Ty Redmond, man, super impressed by that kid this year. Like he's super impressive. Listened to his media availability today.
Yeah.
tell he's a bright kid. And look, man, he is. You cannot put a value on what he's gained from playing in these games as a young freshman and playing against talent, and then like that's going to make him better on down the road, right?
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I think that those are all excellent points. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
No, that's it, man. Like I really think we're starting to get healthy at the right time. Let's see what happens once we get Hobbs back. We've got Moy back last week. Like David Sanders came in. We've been wondering about that. Like
he's a dude, bro.
He's think about that, man. Think of his first SEC start was in Game 5 on an away team against an undefeated team, and he got brought in the final seconds of the fourth quarter to hey, here's your start, kid.
Like 7 minutes left.
Yeah. Like, and I mean that's I thought he handled it well. I thought I saw some really good things, man. Jack Van Doorslayer, some of those dudes setting blocks, and
huge.
Some of the things, and these are young guys, and that's why I'm super stoked on this team, because with this much young talent, they're only going to get better as the season goes on, as you get them more reps. There's a lot of positives. I see more positives than negatives, but there's things we got to clean up.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we're going to talk about all of that today. First, let me get to this super chat, and we will be very heavy in the chat. So y'all just stay tuned. Okay, we are about to get to y'all here in just a second. But this one is from Aaron Scott for $5. Thank you so much for that, Aaron. Saying that Joey leads our league in passing yards, and no one has him as a top 15 quarterback. Come on. Hey, I definitely feel you on that. Let me play the super chat for you first. Thank you, Aaron. So just like back to your point, that's an excellent point. Yeah, I mean, he's getting kind of slept on, but I think that that's okay for now. We have to understand it's a long season, and like we're really just getting started. Like SEC play, conference play for everybody, that's about to really ramp up. So he's gonna, like, he's done some good things, and as we play some more big teams and he keeps on playing well, people will be forced to have to give him his daggone flowers. But yeah, I mean, he just needs to keep on doing what he's doing. But what's y'all's thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, I think that's been Joey's entire career, slept on.
Yep.
Him not having recognition, I don't think he could care less, man. I think he's going to continue to do what he does, put on the orange and white, and perform. And I'm excited to see what he does now. These next few games, you got boys. I mean, you got Arkansas at the crib, Bama on the road, Kentucky on the road, which Kentucky's, man, they're really bad. That's a really bad football team. I had a little hope, like, you get Zach Calzada, he gets back in the SEC. You're like, man, they're gonna be good. They've already benched him, but and then then you come back home and you get OU. So these next four, man, I think this is when the separation in the league begins.
Yep.
Right. It's October, man. October is when the separation begins, and November is when champions are made. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see how Joey performs the next few games. These next 4 weeks are huge for him.
Yeah, Tim.
I couldn't agree more. Like, look, we're getting into the meat of the schedule right now, right? Like, here's where it gets serious. Here's where you make the money. Here's where the NFL scouts are paying attention. Once you get, like, look, it's all fun and games when you're playing these schools. Come on, man. The first couple games of the season, I mean, we had Georgia week 2 or week 3. That was pretty cool. But
yep.
Those aren't, you can't tell who you are in those games. Like, you're going against NFL talent in every game from here forward. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. These are the SEC stats. Let me show you just a couple of things here, and then we're going to jump into, I got some clip ups for y'all. So number one, with the offense, Tennessee's offense is ranked number 1. Now, if you come over here and look at the defense, Tennessee's defense is ranked number 16, so dead last. Now, there's a lot of things in between that we could talk about, and we'll probably talk about it here in just a minute. But first, what I want to do is just kind of go back to some of our thoughts. Like, Tim, you talked about it. We got to be able to set a much better edge. So what I'm actually going to do, y'all, is we're going to start it off with Tennessee's run stopping defense first, okay? Like some of the issues that I'm seeing there. Let me take this one out, and then we're going to come on back to it here in just a minute. Bear with me while I find it. All right, where we at? Okay, so boom. Let's talk about Tennessee's run stopping defense and understand that there's been, I want to say it's like 12 plays of 10 plus yards that's been run on Tennessee. If you take out like, the fake punt, if you take out our backups and all that. So we're going to look it up, most of these plays. But number one, bad run fit. So y'all can see Jeremiah Telander here. He's got to pick a side. He picks the wrong side. That's one of the problems. And then we're missing tackles. That's a huge part of the problem. Okay, so that's something that we definitely need to get cleaned up. Same thing here. And really, I don't even like this call on defense, but we'll leave the middle of the field wide open. I'm not quite sure why Telander wanted to choose a side there. Like you're playing it, Mike. You got to do better. And then here we've got three people that I don't even know what's going on this quarterback run. Everybody's out of place. Now we have missed tackles. Okay, like let me just show y'all this. This is a huge part of the problem. We got things here where we could be able to make a play, make a stop. That's 10 plus yards. Got to be able to make the tackles with our safeties, linebackers here. Same thing. We're going to have two guys miss a freaking tackle. Got him stopped again, missed the tackle, another missed tackle. So that's, one of the hugest things. But this is the by far biggest thing, not setting the edge, just like Timmy G said. And on most of these, it's going to be Caleb Herring. This is Caleb Herring here. He gets too far up the field. So you cannot set the edge by crashing in too much or just by not setting it, like you're getting too far up the field. That's his number one job. Set the freaking edge. They got to get that cleaned up. It could be linebackers who aren't doing it. And on this play, we're getting held twice. Y'all can see that. Defensive lineman gets held. Edwin Spillman also gets held. They're not going to call it, SEC, if you're playing playing against a team that's got the name, they ain't going to call it in your favor. So just understand that. But why are we crashing inside so much, giving up the edge so many times? This is by far the biggest problem. This and missed tackles. We've done a much better job of getting into our run fits with our linebackers, with our safeties. But if we could just set the edge, I'm telling y'all right here, right now, our run stopping defense takes a big step forward. Right now, I think it's ranked number 37 or 38. So not horrible, but, we're used to it being top 5 or, at least top 10. Can we get there by fixing just a couple small things? I definitely think so. So this has got to be number one for us. We've got to focus on getting the running game fixed or the run defense fixed some. Now, that's number one. I'm going to get to y'all's thoughts here in just a second. But first, let me talk about coverage. All right, because I know there's a lot of people that's concerned about Tennessee's coverage. And let me take this back and just show you all the plays of 20 plus yards. This is where it's coming from. So y'all can see the different coverages. I know it's very small, but most of it's going to be cover 3, which is what Tennessee, plays the most of. So, we've got like 10 or so passes that we gave up of 20 plus yards in cover 3. Now understand this, like 5 of those plays was all backups. So down at the very bottom, you can see it's like 891 yards that we gave up off of big plays. Close to like 100 of that should be, taken off. So our pass defense, 100 something, it should be like it should be at least 80 something. But y'all can see everything else there, so on and so forth. It's really just been, mostly it's been just like busting coverage, stuff that we could fix very easily. So now this is cover 3. I'm showing you how it looks, just for those of y'all who might not know. Let me go back and highlight a couple things for you. So in red, that's Jeremiah Telander. He's going to bust on his coverage. We have a safety blitzing off of that side. All the blue is secondary, and then the yellow, that's another linebacker. So that's their areas. There's going to be a hole in every single defense, right? We talk about it all the time. So on this like little boot play that Syracuse is running, Jeremiah Telander runs right past this guy for some odd reason. He's looking at the run. His eyes aren't in the right spot. He gives up a lot of yards. That's very fixable. Just be disciplined in what you're supposed to do. Now here we have a safety. He's going to bite up. He's not being disciplined. This is all just, cover 3. And we have a guy wide open because he's vacated his zone trying to come up to help with the run. Now here, okay, same thing, similar, right? Well, we have 2 safeties playing deep. Looks like it should have been quarters coverage, but it's supposed to be cover 3. Leave the middle of the field wide open. That's the guy in red. And really, man, Syracuse, they had a good game plan. Some of the stuff, it's tough to stop. But I can say that we could do a little bit of a better job, especially here, in dropping to depth and not just covering grass, which is what we're doing here. So if you have a quarterback who can operate on time, throw the football to the spots, you're going to give this type of stuff up, just running cover 3. Now, this is still cover 3. We're playing off the underneath stuff that's there. So that's just good execution by the offense. We're pretty much giving that up. Can we be maybe a little bit tighter? Sure. Okay, now here, they said that this was cover 3. This is actually man. So what you're going to see is Andre Turrentine right there. He's playing off coverage. not much that you can do about this just because of, you know, the route that they ran. They just caught us in a poor play call for us. But with all that being said, understand that the biggest issues that Tennessee has had so far, it's fixable stuff. It's very fixable stuff. It could go from like how it looks right now to next game being totally different. Oh, by the way, we're getting back an influx of veteran talent. That'll also help. But we are going to get to some positive things here too, in just a minute. But I want to get y'all's thoughts. So, Ruck, what do you think, man?
Going back to setting the edge, man. We talked all year last year, like, why are we not getting home? Why are we not getting home? And James Pierce may have not been getting home, but he was doing this exact thing. The edge was getting set. It's why they struggled running the football against us last year. And it's because the edge was being set. This year, we're getting more aggressive. We're coming after the quarterback. We want to get the quarterback on the ground, but now we're giving up something else. And, it's very uncharacteristic of a Rodney Gardner coach defensive line, right? For the run game to be, honestly, like it seems very poor at times. And you can see it, though. It's like when they want to click it on, they turn it on, man. And you saw that fourth quarter. I mean, even let's just take it back to probably 7 or so minutes left in the third quarter to the end of the game. I didn't hear Fluff's name being called a bunch after that. The boys started to lock in. And it shouldn't take that, though. It shouldn't take us flipping a switch. Like if the switch ain't flipped when you run out of the tee or when you touch that field, then let's find somebody else. But I think that's a huge thing for us, man, going forward, especially now in SEC play. You're 1-1. You really can dictate the rest of your season. I think this team is good enough. I think this team is coached well enough, especially defensively, to make the needed changes. But just like you said, it's fixable. So it's not anything I'm necessarily worried about 5 games in. But if we get here to Kentucky and we're 8 games in and we're still sitting here like we can't do this, then I'm worried about when OU comes to town, when we have to go to the swamp here in literally 7 short weeks. And so I still am looking at the positives of this defense. And by far, man, let's just call a spade a spade. They won us that football game last week. 2 turnovers, 14 points off of turnovers. And we don't have those 14, man. I don't know what it looks like. We might be talking about something different today.
Yeah, facts. So, Tim, what's your thoughts?
Well, I really think some of this is going to work itself out, especially once we get Hobbs back. I think Dominique and Easton, both those guys have been seeing an insane amount of reps, right? A lot, right? And we just got Jackson back. Once we get Hobbs back, I think you're going to see a little bit more of a rotation on the line than we've been seeing. Not as many reps on some of these guys. And not only that, if we get McCoy back, like that's a game changer. That's going to change the way we play quite a bit. I do believe. I think it's going to be interesting. There's obviously some things to get cleaned up, but I feel like we can do it. I think a lot of what we've been seeing too is just because we've been seeing so much youth, right? We've been seeing a lot of youth on the field, and okay, yeah, things look a little messy, but once again, those reps are invaluable. When you see Isaiah Campbell, Marion Dye, these guys are going to be guys. Don't worry about the future because these guys are going to be dogs, right? Like the future looks bright. That's what I'm saying. But things are going to be a little messy. But you know what? If we can play a little bit messy and get these guys some reps, and that's going to be worth it in the end. We're still winning games, right? We just need to clean it up. Ruck said, "I don't know what it'd be without those 14 points." I know what it would have looked about the same if it wasn't for a bunch of bullshit calls. That Chris Brazzle out there mossing dudes, man. Like what a year! What a year! The dude is a dog. I've been arguing with people on Twitter. Oh, it's Heupel's system. And I'm not going to argue with that when it was Jalen Hyatt being thrown to routes on air wide open against a Nick Saban defense for 5 touchdowns, bro. I ain't ever seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
But it's not, man. It's not against routes on air. Like the dude is just bossing people. He's going up and taking it. Like it's not that he's out wide open and there's nobody around him. He's high pointing balls Did you see that one catch for the 4th down? He caught it like this, tipped it, turned it around over here, and just like, that's my ball,
That's
man.
elite.
That's mine. Like the body control and the confidence, man. Football's such a confidence game.
Yeah, man.
Right? Like, dude, one thing I want to say, man, is something that really impressed me in this last game. I don't want me to get off the rails, but Braylon Staley. Like, what impresses me, and one thing I love about football, you can go from 0 to hero in the same damn game.
Yeah.
He just he just took his eyes off for just a minute, thought he had that. He just thought he had it, went right through his hands, fumbled it, turned into points, right? Hey, he turns around, puts it behind him, goes out and makes a hell of a catch. And then there at the end, like that one 3rd down catch, that was
running through people and all that.
That second effort. Like, if it wasn't for that second effort, the game would have been different.
For sure.
Like, and that's super impressive when you see a kid that can put it behind him and then just keep grinding. And that's what he did. And I'm not that worried. I think we enjoyed this week off and watch some games this weekend. Get ready for that Arkansas game. I'm ready, man. I think we got some good kids. Joey, I don't know if you watched. Did you guys watch any of his media availability today?
Oh yeah,
he's a leader, man. Like, the dude. You know what? It's a big difference from when they ask him about what the issues are. He always puts it on him first. When a guy puts it on himself first, that just shows he's a leader. Now, he's not looking for excuses. He's not blaming. Oh, well, it's no. He's like, oh, I can do better, and I'm going to. Do we really think we've seen Joey play his best game?
No,
I don't think so. Not even close. Or we haven't seen Tennessee play their best game yet.
No,
and that's I think that's a good thing, right? Moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
Like, well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I would say we still have a lot of room to grow, and probably, biggest thing is that our offense has looked really good. I think most people get that, right? The defense has some question marks, but with so much more room to grow once we get some of the little things fixed. Just imagine how good this team's going to end up being. We've never really had a team with a really strong offense and really strong defense. Well, not with Coach Heupel. So, I mean, I feel like it's very possible that that's coming. So let me get to some of these chats, y'all, just because I do not want to keep everyone waiting. So my dog, LD, he's in here. Appreciate you for joining us. And Dylan said that the tight ends have to get healthy. I'm not sure how much more Kitselman can take. So who isn't healthy? I think the only guy is just Ethan Davis, but Jack's healthy. Bram is back healthy. So, yeah, I mean, I think that we're in a pretty good spot. But, yeah, we'll see when Ethan Davis comes back. Eckler, yeah, I don't even know how much of that's really Eckler. I think it's maybe more of a lack of execution, but maybe there's something to it. Maybe we're not executing because we have a different coach. All right, so I see y'all going back and forth in the chat right there. So Colton is saying that just shows that you can't stick to anyone, coaching special teams. Yep. So let's see, what else do we have? So this one's from Slick420 saying, I'm curious, do we think that next year we're going to go with the quarterback from the portal or give a young quarterback like McIntyre or Merklinger the reins? What are y'all's thoughts on that?
I think I think Jake Merklinger is going to transfer in December, and I think that battle is definitely going to be between Mr. Brandon and George McIntyre once Faison gets in. But we know Heupel. If Heupel thinks he needs another guy, he will go get another guy just to bring more competition into the room, or he may want to just see if another option, he's had success with seniors transfers. He's had success with them. Hendon Hooker comes in, has success with Hendon Hooker. Joe Milton, while we went 9-3 and we weren't that efficient throwing the football down the field, still was a successful year. And so he's had success with older guys. So the youngest quarterback Josh Heupel has had was our worst offensive year in the system. So I take that for what you will.
Yeah. Tim, what do you think?
Man, he'll definitely go out and get somebody, but whether it'll be a depth piece or what, I don't know. But there's no way we're going to go into the season. If Jake was to transfer, there's no way we're going into the season with just Faison and GMAC. That ain't happening, bro.
Nope.
And I truly think GMAC, look, man, the only reason I wouldn't want to see GMAC in right now, and I'm not saying right now because Joey's falling out and we know that, and I'm super proud of that kid. But it's just I'm afraid of GMAT getting hurt, right? I mean, I know he put on a lot of weight in the off season, but when you're 6'6", I had a conversation with somebody on Patreon, on your Patreon one time. They're like, yeah, well, Bryce Young he played and he was only 200 pounds. Bryce Young was 5'10".
Yeah.
He was 5'10" and 200 pounds. He's 6'6" and 200. It ain't the
Very different.
same, bro. He's a twig. And look, I'm not hating. He still did a lot to come in, but when GMAT came in, he was 178 pounds, maybe. Like he was not 180. I don't know. He wasn't that big.
Yeah.
And he's definitely put on some weight, but I think GMAC and Faison's going to have something to say about it when he gets here. So, but I think that's a little much to ask anybody as a true freshman to come in. And I think that's like going from high school ball to college SEC ball is the biggest jump you make it probably in your career. But don't get me wrong. I know NFL's the NFL. Like it's the best of the best. It's the most elite. Those are some dudes. But and that's a jump, but I don't think it's as big of a jump for going from high school to SEC football. Like that's
I mean, it's huge, especially playing at quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're going from a high school style offense, which was kind of what Tennessee ran.
Going to 5-star DBs everywhere, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it is a total, like the game
different.
speeds up tremendously. And just like for me, the biggest jump, just like personally playing at corner from high school to college, was with the way that the quarterbacks throw. You know, like the ball is there. Like coming out of the breaks, the balls are there. So yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, I think that y'all are exactly the same thing that y'all are saying, right? Like, I mean, we got two really good young guys, but you got to bring in that vet just in case. It's going to be fine with sitting on the bench. It's going to be probably tough to find. You got to overpay somebody. But you should want to come play inside of this system just because we do such a good job with our quarterbacks typically, right? Especially transfers, just like Ruck said.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let me get to some more of these. So this one's talking about Jeremiah Thielander. I don't think that he's necessarily a liability. He does need to. It feels like Edwin Spillman's passing him up. He got more reps than Edwin Spillman had 48 reps. Thielander only had 40 last week. Sounded like Coach Inge was laying into Thielander some. So he does have to step it up. But, things just kind of like are what they are. I don't think that he's a slouch. He just has to kind of like focus. Don't be – I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe he's too geared up. Just calm down and just like let the game flow. If he could do a little bit more of that, I think he's going to be perfectly fine. So this one's from David saying that Joey's played basically with one less game than the other QBs. How is that? How is that? Because this is our first bye week.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's go on to the next one. All right. So for sure, Aaron, thank you for the question. JPatt saying that Edwin Spillman, both Jadens are better linebackers than T-Mac.
I love that dude.
Yeah, he is a fool. So Matt, what's going on, bro? Saying that he didn't realize that we were ranked dead last in defense in the SEC. Yeah, but it's also, this is the thing, man. We've played a tougher schedule than most of the SEC. Like so we really have. Yeah, 100%. So you have to understand that too. We're going to get it figured out. I tried to get that out. I know it was tough because I was trying to go fast, but whenever we're going through those little clip ups, most of the yards that we gave up, especially passing wise, that was with our, not most of it, but a lot of it was with our backups. Like a lot of it. There's a pretty big drop off from our 1s and 2s to our 3s and 4s because they're just pretty much straight up freshmen. But they're going to get it figured out too. So just understand that it's all going to balance itself out. Tennessee's going to move up those rankings. You don't too much have to worry about it. I'm going to get to just a couple more. All right, so this one from Slick saying that the Jeremiah Thielander is a good linebacker. A lot of the mistakes he's making can be fixed. I think we're all on the same page with that. We're not giving up on him, right? I don't think anyone here is giving up on Power T, right?
No.
Okay. Cool. So Dylan is saying that he's a junior though, with 3 years of experience. You think that it'd be fixed by now? Some of that's kind of true. I think that he's worked on fixing some things, but obviously it's never going to be perfect. So now I want to talk about Tennessee's offense. So let's do this. Let's come right back and let's take a look at these stats yet again, just to bring this back up so people can see it, right? Our offense is doing a really good job. I think that the offensive line, very strong. Running game, it's still pretty good. We're just not running as much as what we used to, which is positive. I think that the offense is more balanced, but we're still averaging, what is that, like 5 yards per carry? I would like for us to get up to 6 or 7, but I don't think we necessarily really have to. So pretty solid job there. Turnovers is what we need to get cleaned up. So with that being said, I'm going to pull up a couple of clips, not really breaking these down, just some like highlights for us. And then I want to get y'all's thoughts on it, right? So let's go ahead and get into the passes. Like I said, we're going to start off with some of the turnovers. Most of it's not on Joey Aguilar, right? Like, we got to catch the football. We got to take better care of it, period, point blank. It really doesn't matter whose fault it is. We just have got to do a much better job. We're ranked 120th out of 133 teams. That's way too far down on that list. At some point, it could come back to bite us, ultimately speaking. If we can get that cleaned up, the offense is, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it looks really good. But what are y'all's thoughts with how Tennessee's offense has been flowing? What looks good to you? What would you like to maybe see Tennessee do differently? So on and so forth. Ruck, we're going to start with you.
I love that this team took the offseason to make the necessary changes, and you are seeing it pay off right in front of our eyes. The bunch sets, forcing the defense to bend. We weren't forcing defenses to bend, man. They could play base defenses, quarter coverage, and lock us up. That's what they did. And what's crazy is Bobby Petrino fired the dude that figured it out, but whatever. But
appreciate that.
I mean, yeah, thank you, dog. But like, it's just now it's unpredictable at this point, right? You start to see a little bit more. I love the 12 personnel sets where we're lining the tight ends up as H-backs. Like, it's just things that are visually different, but nothing's changing with how we're operating, right? Like, visually, we're giving you a different look, but we're still playing Josh Heupel Tennessee football. Fast, and it's going to continue to stay that way. So that's the exciting part. I think you're seeing guys run open in a different way this year. What I mean by that is, typically when we're like, God, she's wide open, it's what Timmy G was talking about. Hyatt just routes on there wide open on a post wheel, or something like that. Now we're getting open in shallows. Now we're getting open. Even simple curl routes are wide open. And so it's just things like that Heupel has improvised and made this offense more efficient. I think there's still more to come. I think that these sets, we're giving you visuals, but you haven't seen everything, and I love that. I'm with you on the running game. It's not necessarily discouraging, but sometimes I find myself scratching my head like, okay, we just got 10 yards. Why ain't we hitting them in the mouth again? So we had a whole segment about this last week and kind of like broke it down as far as when Tennessee runs the ball, their pass efficiency after a run play goes up like almost 30% as far as what happens on that next pass play. Is it a shot play? Is it a positive 15 plus 15-yard pass play? That percentage shoots up after a very well ran or after a big run the play before. And so we know this, man. The run game sets us up very well. And like, I can't really be mad at 5 yards a carry, right? Like, I can't really be mad. I think we're just used to seeing, Tennessee ran for 260 or 230. And right now we're seeing Tennessee ran for 195 or Tennessee ran for 205, right? We're not seeing like that extra 45 or 50. But I think Josh Heupel needs to keep doing what he's doing, keep improvising on what he's already done. And, Joey said this today in his media availability. He was just saying, he now feels extremely comfortable in the offense and now feels like there's just more to come, right? So there's more that you can tell that we haven't done necessarily. And it's conference play, so it's go time now. So I'm excited, man. I love what Heupel is doing. You can tell that the dude can coach football.
Yeah. So, Tim, what do you think about, passing game, running game, some of the individual players maybe that you have been standing out to you, so on and so forth?
Okay, running game. Let's start there. Number one, I think the running game is going to be interesting to see what happens with the running game when now you got David back, right? So this is actually, we're probably going to see the actually intended starting line. Is that going to change the running game? Here's one thing I am going to say that I think we're going to see or not see in for the next couple weeks is Mr. Lewis. I don't think we're going to see him for a couple games, and I'm not hating on him, but I'm just telling you there was one play that he whiffed on, and it was bad for Joey. And let me tell you about a guy that set an SEC record. Right, his name was Dylan Sampson. That happened to him in an LSU game with Hendon Hooker. And we didn't see Mr. Sampson for about 3 games.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be a thing. And I honestly, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't like,
No.
I don't think we have to run 3 backs. I think Star Thomas and Bishop, there's enough differences between those guys that is enough. And I'm not hating on Peyton. But let's see what happens there. I think with getting the offensive line back, another thing to think about too, with getting Sham, I'm really proud of Sham, man. I thought he held up well. You know, I hate to see him have to sit on the bench, but honestly, I thought he did well enough. Could you now use him to rotate out every now and then and rest one of those other guards to make sure you're like, just imagine a fresh whoa in the 4th corner.
Yes, sir.
You don't want no part of that.
I love
That
it.
dude is a boy. Wendell, he's a boy.
He's a road grader, man. He just moves people. And like you know, Jesse Perry, wow, what a job he's done, right? Like and if you could give those guys a little bit of rest in into the game and you're concentrating on 2 backs, and I don't know, man. Like I think the run game's gonna be fine. Hopefully it's gonna get better. I think it's been good, but I mean that one run by Star Thomas, I think that was a run, or was that a little maybe a little pass? But if Mike would have caught his block a little sooner on that, Star Thomas was gone. Dude, there was no one left. There was no one left. Like he had just nothing but green. If you know, there's a couple little things like that. If we tighten up and do some little stuff like that, you're talking about major differences in the outcome of the score and everything, and you know, changes the narrative altogether. So just tighten some things up, and I think everything's going to be fine. Chris Brazzell, he's there's not a lot you can say about it. The dude is just having a crazy season, and I couldn't be more proud for the dude and the confidence that he's playing with right now, and just you know, just keep doing your thing, man, and everything's going to work out. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. So I'm on the same page with y'all, man. I love what I've been seeing. The new wrinkles to the offense, obviously, man. Chris Brazzell, he's really flourished, and I think that all of our wide receivers, we can spread the football out more. The offensive line's been tremendous. It's going to get even better with pass blocking, run blocking. We could use our tight ends maybe a little bit more, but I'm not too mad at it just because if we're winning, you can't say too much. If we lost one game that we should have won, I say it all the time. Could have done a couple of things differently, but you know, Joey Aguilar, let me make sure that I also point this out. He's playing very well. You know, his style of play, I think that it fits the way that this system is run or the way that we want it to be run. I think that his teammates really like him. I think that they want to try to win for him. And that says a lot. You know, that speaks volumes. So, you know, there are a couple of things that I want to see us maybe tweak. Number one for me is going to be, for some reason, in that middle 8, it seems like Joey gets a little high on his pass. I don't know if it's on Joey, if it's on the defense, maybe figuring out more of what we're doing. Because really, like, I know people were talking about the interceptions that he threw last week versus Mississippi State to Miles Kitterman. Well, he's throwing it high. He's throwing that football away from the defense. I think that the ball placement was actually right. Miles Kitterman's a 6'5". He's got to make the catch. And I understand things happen, so on and so forth. But I don't think that the ball placement was horrible there, you know? So I think that he's putting it in the right spots most of the time. But if we could maybe just figure that out, obviously, man, like his numbers will be outrageously good. And then, you know, if you're looking at just like our running scheme, I think that we could do a little bit more as far as, you know, maybe picking up the backside end or the backside backer. I've seen us tweak something, like work on a couple of things. We talked about this for the members, showing the wide receivers, getting up there, blocking safeties, blocking linebackers, doing that. We weren't doing that last season, y'all. Like we never could do it because we're too, you know, split out too far wide. But we're going to get that figured out. So the running game's been, I would say, better than people think. Doesn't always really matter exactly what the ranking is. If you're averaging 5 yards a carry, you're doing a damn good job. But
you're not doing bad.
Yeah. You know, and then too, I loved, you know, I love Joey Aguilar's pocket presence. I think he's doing a great job of, I mean, look, I had some things clipped up. I couldn't put everything in here, but there's a lot with our offense, a whole lot of positive stuff. This is like a small fraction of it. But man, Joey Aguilar buying time, so many big time throws as he's, you know, getting away from sacks. Like I said, Tony Romo used to do that type of same stuff. He would get out of a little sack, and he's making a big time play down the field. So we have a guy who can get it done. I trust him. I trust the offense. And I think that ultimately we're going to end up being fine. So let me get to some of these chats. All right. Let me pull this back down and let's chime in with the chat. And, then we'll take a look at some of the games coming up this weekend. But I do want to get caught up here. So where are we at in this chat? So this is where we're at on Slick. He's saying that Kisserman is a really good tight end, and a lot of the balls that he's been throwing are high for him to catch. Yes, so we just talked about that. His job, if your hands get on the football, if you're a pass catcher, you got to make the catch. Some of them might be a little bit too high, but he would tell you that he needs to do better there. It's not just him. Something else that we haven't touched on. I'm surprised that everyone skipped over this. We are leading for sure the SEC in drops. We have 20 drops. I think we had 20 all of last year. It was like 21 or 22. We're almost to that point. Got to catch the damn football. We got to make fundamental stuff, just basic fundamental stuff. This team gets exponentially better. So it's not just Kid. It's several players, obviously. All right, so this one's saying, let's go. You already know. All right. Yep. So someone's talking about that there. Bone Hunting's going on, bro. Thank you for joining us. All right. So this one right here, I think that you might have got that one, Ruck. Maybe you saw it. Maybe you didn't.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to try to get to some of these questions. All right. So this one's from Bohan saying that when throwing the ball up in the middle, you have to throw it high or they can't intercept it. Or high or in a place that they can't intercept it. Yeah, you have to be careful throwing it high over the middle, though. That is true. That is very, very true. But it's difficult sometimes. Like y'all chime into this too. But if you're throwing it to somebody that's maybe like 10 yards away, the ball placement, you should trust them, and you'll see it with other tight ends where the quarterback threw it away from their body, away from the defense, and they can make a good handsy catch. So, but what are y'all's thoughts? Do y'all really feel like it's more on Joey? Is it more on maybe some guys just missing passes over the middle or
both, Dan, right?
Both.
A little both, right?
Yeah.
I think when you're in the red zone and you're throwing it high, that is exactly where you want the ball to be, especially when you got like Chris Brazzell, who's 6'5".
Yeah.
Man, go get it, bro. But you do need to be, you gotta, the ball placement could be better, but man, both of those interceptions, I there's no excuse to me. Catch the ball, man.
Yep.
If you can't catch the ball, at least knock the damn thing down.
Yeah.
Bro, don't. We're not playing volleyball. Let's not lob them up, right? Let's not lob them up. No, but look, it's a little bit of both, right? Like some have been a little. It's not some of them are high and some of them are high and behind, right? And that's a tough catch, high and behind. If you got to go, if you're running this way and you weigh 200, and especially as a tight end,
yeah,
all right, like okay. There's a big difference between a wide receiver that weighs 190 pounds and a guy that weighs 260, 270. He tries. It's just like a train don't stop on a dime, right? Like it takes a minute to get that sucker to move.
Yep.
But it's a little bit of both, man. But honestly, it's one of those things though, and I'm in the same camp. If it hits you in the hands, you're supposed to catch that. But even Joey has said, like, he took that all on him at the end of the game. But once again, that's leadership, right? And Kitchen said the same thing. I should have caught him. Joey said, well, I should have threw him better. A little bit of both. And it's totally fixable on that. But it is what it is. But here's another one from this last game where you're talking about throwing them high.
Brazzell's catch.
No, well, there was the Mike, dude, that was a touchdown, bro. Like that was that dropped in there. But I know he had to adjust and he had to go back to it. But some of us just catch the ball, man. But look, that's a lot of young guys and a lot of intense situations. Things happen, but we clean some of that up. I promise you that Mike doesn't like that. He wants that touchdown on his stats. He's going to go make that happen
big time.
Like that. Like some of these things hopefully will take care of themselves. But
yeah, I'm pretty curious though, like why? Because it's not just wide receivers, it's not just tight ends, it's running backs too.
Yeah,
everybody.
What the hell are we doing in practice? Like people need to be able to catch. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it's something that they need to. There needs to be get like 20 or 30 catches off of the
judge machine. There better be mandatory jugs.
Everybody.
Yeah, there better be mandatory. The only ones that you can't do on the jug machine, and maybe you can, is the one like Mike missed, because that thing is dropping in from the.
You can still get those in.
Can you turn that sucker?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like that's almost like catching punts, right?
Right.
And we need to do a little bit more of that in practice too. But
Yep.
hey, it is what it is. But once again, man, a lot of young guys that I think are going to get these things cleaned up. And boy, when they do, you imagine the difference in the stats. Just think about those. That Brazel PI. You had Mike that dropped that one. Like there was 2 or 3 plays in there, bro, that could have.
Yep.
Tennessee left a lot of touchdowns off the board on
Yeah.
offense, and I still thought the offense played pretty freaking good. So
Yeah.
once they figure some of those things out, and I think as the season moves on, they're going to tighten up on those. And this week is a great week to do that, man. Go back, watch some film, and try to get some things straight, and be ready because I guarantee you, Captain Harley's going to come in here. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wild on there. He might leave face all scratched up after this one.
Yeah. And then too, like last week, we gave Mississippi State so many short fields. That's another part of it. Like whenever we're talking about defense, I thought that this was a really good point from B Riz, saying that the defense always seems to, or the defense also seems to always be on the field, and that could be something. And that's true. Like as I'm going through looking at stats, our defense, and I think that we talked about this last night for the members too, that our defense has been on the field more than anybody else in the SEC. So that is part of it, but also part of it, you got to get your ass off the field, right? Like you got to, on third downs, you got to be better. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left, y'all. We're going to try to go through and get to as many of these chats as possible. We're going to have to try to fly through. So from Dylan, saying that he thinks that the battle is already over, that GMAC is getting redshirted. Okay, yeah, we'll see. I think that we're in a pretty good position as far as the quarterbacks go. All right, so this one from Jeremiah Holt, saying that the offense is fine, defense needs some work. The linebackers and secondary need work in coverage and run stopping. It's either that or the scheme needs to change, or Banks needs to learn how to adjust in game. Okay, interesting points. This one's saying ready for Suey Piggy or Suey Pig. Yep, it's about that time. Okay. JPatt, it's all good, bro. All right. Yeah, so this one's saying that glad that we have an off week for the players, but off weeks suck. Yeah, it sucks for us as fans. We'll take a look here like in the last 5 minutes and just kind of like breeze through some of the games. I'm just going to try to catch up on chats. All right, so Trey Thomas is saying, is Marcus Gorey still, man, I don't know what's going on with Marcus. It ain't looking good because, I mean, I don't know if how much has he even touched the field all year? It's like 2 freshmen coming in, busting coverages, playing over him. That's not a good look. He needs to get it figured out, like for sure. All right, so Matt saying cheers. Okay, need to run the ball versus the Hogs. And that Bama has a poor run defense.
They
I don't think Alabama's run offense isn't great either. And I think that their offense from top to bottom, it's pretty simple. They've got some dudes. I think that we're going to play well versus Bama. It always, to me, comes down to them trying to cheat us, which they will do. They've done it every year since I've been living, once we go down to Tuscaloosa. But how do y'all feel? Just like some very, very quick thoughts on Alabama. How do y'all feel about it?
I'm just going to say one thing. I saw a meme. It was more like a paragraph meme, but it was a picture of Ryan Williams on the cover of College Football 26. And in quotes, it says, this man literally did a 360 and scored a touchdown and got on the cover of a video game. Like, that's it. Think about it. He's been just okay since then. Since that moment, he went 11 straight games without 100 yards. Had a big game against a terrible Wisconsin team. You get against Georgia, 4 catches, 52 yards? That's you're supposed to be the best, one of the best 2-3 receivers in college football. I mean, I don't know if it was just Milroe had nothing else to do but throw it to Ryan Williams last year and just see what he could do, or if Ryan Williams is just not that great when it comes to, hey, I need to fit this route better. Like, I think about Chris Brazel last week against Mississippi State when we ran that. We came out trips left, and he was lined up as an inside receiver. He noticed outside leverage from that linebacker and cut that slant off early. You're not seeing that type of recognition from Ryan Williams right now. He's running the true route, whatever they call, that's what he's running. And so I just don't know if it's an experience thing, but I mean, like, I don't know. I am not that impressed with Alabama. Yes, they beat Georgia. Here's what I think. I think that Kirby has a hard time beating his former team. And I think you saw it last year. You saw him fight back. and should have won the game when they fought back this year. 3 drop tutties. Yeah, I mean, you ain't gonna win that game. And so I think Alabama is a good team. Let me say it that way. I don't want to say like they're not good. That's a good football team. It's Alabama. They're going to continue to be good because they continue to recruit 5 stars everywhere, right? But I don't think DeBoer is that guy.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Alabama is very good. I'm gonna say this about Ryan Williams very, very quickly. He's soft, and I think that their defense is also
exactly where I was going.
And there you go, Bull. I didn't want to. Hey, I didn't want to do it.
Hey, listen, Bama, we gonna let them have it. You already know we gotta let them have it. But Tim, what's your thoughts on them, man?
No, that's dude. You stole my damn material. That's what I'm gonna say. Look, you've heard me say it on here before, and I won't go there where I went before. But anyways, I do think I think the secret to as far as he goes, but I don't think he's not even their main receiver this year, right?
No,
like,
Jeremy Bernard.
He's the big name, but he's not the guy that's producing the most. There's Alabama fans everywhere, even here in Tennessee near me, and I have to talk to one of them every now and then, and I get to hear all the stuff. And we were talking about it, but I think Tennessee, two teams that exposed Williams was Tennessee and Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, big time.
And you know why? Because they played him very physically.
Hey,
very physical, bro. Yep. And like there was some things I saw in both those games that proved your point of what you said. You said soft.
Yeah.
2 plays that I saw in each game that showed me that. One was the Tennessee when Jamad went up and picked it. It wasn't that he picked it. It was and this is I'm old school. Look, I look at things like this, right? It was once he picked it and he starts to run out. Williams starts to go after him and then sees Jacoby Thomas coming. He's like, nah, business decision. Business decision. Nah, dude. I saw that in the Oklahoma game. They pick sixed them or something right there towards the end. It was like a little screen pass, right? Little throw out to the sideline. Dude took that and Williams went like this. Once he got really close, he was like, I was like, rah. But hey, look, he's a young kid, man. He's very talented. There's no doubt about that. But I think if you're going to be successful at the next level, you better show some scouts so you can be physical. And like otherwise they're just going to come up and press you, right? I mean, that's what I would do, but I'm not a starting safety or quarterback in the SEC, so that doesn't matter. But I don't know what to think about Alabama. I don't know what to think about a lot of teams because I don't think a lot of teams up until this point have played many games that really show who they are. Okay, Alabama beat Georgia. What does that mean? Alabama always beats Georgia. What are you saying?
Yeah, I know.
I talked to one of my friends. He was like, "Oh, I said, who's going to win that Alabama Georgia game?" I was like, "Oh, it's Georgia for sure." I said, "Why do you say that?" He's like, "What do you mean? When do they beat them? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's like saying Tennessee beating Florida." Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I truly believe psychology plays into football.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's as much a mental game as it is a physical game.
100%.
Don't get me wrong. You got to have the attributes, but hey, man, there's such a thing as psychology. Mike Tyson perfected that shit. He knew how to strike fear into his opponents, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like that. That was the thing, and that's look. Kirby ain't ever beat Alabama like that. What is it like?
I think he might have beat them once or something. But once, maybe
beat them once. I mean, what's the overall? It's like 2-7 or something.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Like Georgia knows that, even though that was a home game. I promise you, Alabama. That's a thing, man.
Oh yeah.
You go in and think, I don't know if we can. Oh man, yeah, but this Alabama, man, we never beat these guys. I don't know, man.
Yeah, they know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that plays a lot into it. Like we'll see. I mean, I hope Alabama beats the damn brakes off of Andy, and because I want Alabama, and I hear a lot of people arguing about this. Oh well, why would you want to root for? I'm not rooting for Alabama. I want Alabama as not say undefeated because they can't be undefeated, but I want them to not lose until we play them at home because I want to beat them at home.
Right. So
you know what I'm saying?
Totally get that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. I totally get it. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a game. I mean, I think that Todd Simpson's good. I think that they got really good athletes. The offensive line to me is good. but I mean, I've seen him be kind of like vulnerable. I think that we match up well. Okay, I said the same thing last year. I think that we match up well. All right, so
one thing I'll say to that, and it's something you touched on earlier, and I want to go back to it. You said the middle eight, right? Like win the middle eight. And that's one thing Tennessee, man. And another thing you said a little while ago, and I'm not trying to derail this a lot, but you were talking about how, and one of my friends talks about this too, about how Tennessee's offense can go cold. And they're like, well, is it Joey? No, it's not just Joey. I think it's always been the Heupel offense. Like we hit slumps, right? There's almost name a game that we played all 4 quarters amazingly. Like even on a good game, there's sort of like, well, we were doing great in the first quarter. We got 21 points. The second quarter, we didn't do nothing. And then the third quarter, fourth quarter, we came out and we did what we were supposed to do. Like it seems to be hard for us to put 4 together strong. If we can do that, look out.
Yep, for sure. All right, so I'm going to try to breeze through and catch up on as many as I possibly can. So Colton Jones is asking, can we please get someone other than Brazel to constantly catch the football? I think that that's a good point because, we're not very consistent catching. Dylan is saying that Braylon, I would say, and I mean, obviously, like towards the end, he came through in the most clutch moments. That says a lot about him. So I love to see that.
Does.
And here, JPatt saying that G-Max is going to gain the weight and that he looks – and he looks like a more refined Ty Simpson. Okay. I think that, I don't think he's way better than Joey. I'm not going to say he's even better than Joey. I think that people are obviously sleeping on Joey, but Ty Simpson is good. I know he's an Alabama quarterback. He's from Tennessee, but he is good. He is good. This one, okay. Y'all are crazy. All right, so this one's from Brent saying that they don't stick with the running up. That's a fact with Bama. All right, so upvotes. Let me see if I can get to some more of these questions. Okay. Love tonight's penalties. By the way. Oh, okay. Panelists. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, bro. All right, so let me get to this one right here from Matt. So happy and proud of Aguilar and for Heupel making him work in the system so quickly, for sure. All right, so wanted to try to get – actually, let me try to get to this one. All right, so this one from BYOB saying or asking, do we think that some younger guys tackling eye discipline issues are related to Eckler's departure? He's a great teacher as a special teams coach, and the new coach was a GA and is not as experienced. So – listen, like special teams, like lack of tackling, I haven't really seen too many bad issues in tackling on special teams. It feels like it's more like with straight up on the defense, which that's on the linebackers coach. It's on the different secondary coaches. Like that's for them to get that right. And also it's on the defensive coordinator. You have to have like enough times where we're really focusing on tackling. We got to do something different because it's not really working. But what's y'all's quick thoughts on that? Because we got about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm about the same. I don't think it's an Eckler thing or anything like that. And if you want to flip it to when we are on the offensive side of special teams, so receiving the football, that's 100% mental. Catch the ball, dude.
Okay, Tim, thoughts?
The one thing I'd say to special teams, I mean, I think the only thing people can really complain about special teams so much is the catching, right, or the returning the punts and so forth. Some of that. We haven't seen the same guy back there it changes a lot. Yeah. So I think that's part of it. We need to settle in, pick one guy and let them do their thing and try to build from there. I've seen a lot of moving around. We've seen Staley back there. We've seen Dwan Morris back there. We've seen Boo back there. At Peyton Lewis. Have we seen Peyton Lewis at one time? Maybe. I'm not sure. I know we've seen him return kicks back there, but I think finding some consistency in it would be helpful.
Okay, okay, cool. So let me get to this super chat from my dog 10 Vols 1084 saying thanks for all the bomb videos, guys. Thank you so much for the kind words. And so he's worried about Max Gilbert. He's missed a couple of big field goals. Worried about what happens further in SEC play. Do we think that he's in his head? So let me play the clip for you first. I think that's a really good point. We haven't talked too much about the field goal kicker today, but let me play this first. Thank you so much, bro. So, I'm worried about Max Gilbert too. Like I said, since he missed the first kick versus Georgia, I was like, pretty much, hey, we got to try to score 6. just because once you miss a big time kick, it typically sticks with you. I do think that he's probably in his own head because every time it's close to a game winning situation, he ends up kind of, he ends up blowing it. So what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because you never want to have to place the game into your kicker's hands anyways, right? But that should be a safety net for you. And right now it's not for us. And so I am worried going down the stretch, but I do still believe in him. He's got the leg. It's again, a lot of special teams is mental, man.
Yes. Yeah. And kickers are known for being like, look, a kicker dances a fine line between sane and insane, depending on the situation he gets put in. Like, that's the most high pressured situation. Football is very much a team game, but at that point in the game, it's not a team game, is it? I mean, really, I mean, it's on two guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, you got the guys blocking and all that, but there's a lot that goes into between two guys right there. One thing I would say to him is learn his range too, right? Yeah. Like we've seen some shots from a little further out that, okay, then maybe that's not his range then. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, how about 49 yards instead of 51 or a couple of these maybe. On the whole Eckler thing, I don't know about any of that stuff, but I don't know, man. Kickers are that's a wild group, and that's all psychology, man. That's all mental. And I would not want to be that guy. Like that in that Georgia game, that's a wild thing to put somebody through. That's
in the way it happened, right, Timmy G? Just the false start, then you're mentally like, oh my God, it's 5 more yards. You know what I mean? It just was an interesting sequence.
Oh, 100%, man. And that's look, my hat's off to him. You're either a zero or a hero. There's no in between there.
Yeah.
And it's just, look, if that kid would have made that kick, he would have never bought another meal in Knoxville, Tennessee for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
They would have built a statue to him. There would have been a field rush. Like, look, man. But if he misses, you know what that kid's DMs must have looked like, and that's sad. Let me say that now. If you were sending a kid DMs, and some of you people, you need to go out and touch grass. And if you've had 12 beers, maybe you shouldn't get on Twitter. Okay, just saying. Maybe you should shut the hell up. Hold on to it till tomorrow. Sleep on it before you post it. Like, go. What are you doing? No.
It's wild. But all right, so last thing, I just want to get y'all I just want for y'all to tell me who's going to win these two games. Hopefully y'all can see it. But we got Texas versus Florida. Everyone knows about that one at 3:30 on Saturday. Who do y'all got winning this one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be super low scoring. I'd be smashing the under. But I just think Texas is better offensively right now than Florida has shown.
Yeah, I mean, they're only favored by 6.5 points. I mean, to me, that's kind of crazy.
That's wild.
But Tim, who do you got?
Is it at Texas?
No, it's at Florida.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Texas is affected by that voodoo. I think that's a strictly Tennessee thing. But who knows? It may be. They are UT, not the real one. But I'm going to go with Texas on this, but something tells me I don't know. I don't know that I would bet that game. This Florida at home is some voodoo that I don't feel comfortable putting money on that. Just saying. Yeah. Not that I think that Florida is better than Texas. I think Texas got better talent and just probably better overall, especially at coaching. But I don't know, man. I'm a Tennessee fan. I've got some serious battered ball syndrome when it comes to the Florida home field. But I think Texas, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, both teams have a really good defense. Both of their offenses are having some problems. I think Florida's going to win. I think that Florida at home with the Swamp, I think that they're going to win. I mean, I'm not going for them, but I do think that they'll end up winning. And then Vandy versus Bama. You know what? This game's in Tuscaloosa. I haven't watched Vandy play as much as I probably should. I think this one's going to be close. I think that Vandy might pull this one out too. But what's y'all's thoughts here? And I don't, Tim, just like you said, I don't want them to. I want Alabama to win it. But I think that Vandy might end up winning this game. But what are y'all's thoughts?
I gotta. I need Bama to win this game. that's what I need. You don't need them. You don't need them losing at home than for us to come in there.
I know, right? Golly, that's because it's going to be tough for them to lose twice, especially playing at home. But they might have a bye next week. I'm not sure who they play next.
They just came off a bye.
Okay,
so they've got Vanderbilt, and then they've got is it Texas A&M, and then us.
Let me see. Let me see if I can pull up their schedule here. We'll take a look at it real quick. So, they got
Missouri at Missouri,
okay,
right?
At Missouri.
Okay. All right. So, Tim, I think you already picked Bama, didn't you?
I'm going to go with Bama, but here's the thing I'll say, because and this is true with Georgia too, for the most part. I think those when you're one of these upper echelon teams that are so used to winning, when you get punched in the mouth, it's very interesting how they react.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are both slightly fragile, especially fan bases when it comes to oh shit, like because they're not used to oh shit moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, Vandy, man, I mean, no team wants to play them right now. I don't think they're definitely I know they're Vandy, but they're a scary version of Vandy.
Yeah,
can win. So it's going to be interesting, man. I think Alabama could take them to the woodshed. Or maybe not. Like it's one of those games, man.
Yeah.
Look, could they both lose? I would be really happy.
that'd be great.
I would be great. Could they both lose? That would make me the happiest. I think Bama's got more talent, but like if Vandy can come out and pull some oh shit, score early, score soon, and I think that could put Bama in a position where they'd be like, oh, what not? What?
Yeah.
That could get wild. I'm all about it. I'm going to hate watch it. That's all I'm going to say. I think Bama's going to win.
Heck
but
yeah.
If either one loses, I'm happy. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I would prefer it to be Alabama unbeaten when we beat them. But if not, hey, it is what it is. So.
Yeah. All right. So let me get to this last super chat from JPatt. Thank you so much, bro. Saying it's a great time for the bye week, a great channel. Not my best day. So saying RIP to his daughter, and we will echo those sentiments. Hope that you have a good rest of your day, bro. Hope that all of y'all have a good rest of y'all's night. And I'll be back tomorrow. Go and check out Ruck. I think that they got something firing up here in about like 5 or 10 minutes, Ruck?
Yeah, we're actually gonna go about 8:45 Eastern, so about 30 minutes. We'll take a little break, and then y'all come tap in, man. Come tap in.
All right, so fellas, thank y'all, and we will be talking to everybody tomorrow. Peace. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Yes, sir.